Hitler was right about y'all niggas. These dreidel spinning, yarmulke wearing, kibbutz inhabiting, genocidal fucks. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Well, I'm really black because my parents were here in 1945 and they know Martin Luther King. Shut the fuck up. That's why foreigners come to this country and laugh at you niggas.
Because at the end of the day, a lot of you niggas, that's what you guys are. A bunch of grape drinking, watermelon consuming, fried chicken connoisseurs.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Old Man, aka O the Dread, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the sewers of the internet to pull out a rat so big, he used to work for the feds. We're talking about Amrou Fudl, but you probably know him by his stage name, his whitewashed for the algorithm name, Myron Gaines. The self-proclaimed alpha male, the king of the manosphere, and the guy who screams at women on a podcast for a living because he lacks the emotional intelligence to have a normal conversation.
Thank you. Your mom does too.
Typical. This dude is a walking contradiction. He's a former Homeland Security agent turned internet troll, a black man who panders to white supremacists, a dating coach who allegedly didn't have a girlfriend until he was pushing 40. He represents a new class of digital grifter who has engineered a persona so toxic, disgusting, and hateful that honestly, it's impressive he hasn't imploded sooner. But before I verbally obliterate this corny, swagless, no pussy-getting, self-hating cancer to society as we address his hypocrisy, the federal plant allegations, and the photos that have the internet asking a whole lot of questions, if you enjoy videos like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I drop weekly to bi-weekly videos exposing the frauds, the charlatans, and the absolute dog water humans of the internet. Now, let's get into the architecture of hate. We'll start with the resume, and then we'll take a look at the rap sheet. Before he was Myron, he was Amrou. Born February 1st, 1990 to Sudanese parents and raised in New Britain, Connecticut. And on paper, he seems fairly legit. He went to Northeastern University, where he rode crew and played basketball, so apparently he had some kind of discipline. He took that discipline and landed a job as a special agent for the Homeland Security investigations, or HSI. He was posted in Laredo, Texas, dealing with narcotics and human trafficking, later on moving to Miami to investigate high-level financial crimes. So this isn't your average mall cop. This is someone who knows how the feds work because he was the feds. And this is where the grift begins. He uses that background, that Fed Reacts credibility, to sell you on his authority. He acts like because he busted drug dealers, he knows everything about women, finances, and how to be a man. He took the badge, stripped the honor, and used the authority to build a brand based on being a bully. We're not dealing with some dude in a basement somewhere moderating discords. He's a trained operative who realized there was more money in radicalizing lonely young men than there was in serving his country. He traded his badge for a microphone and a soundboard of air horns and monkey noises. Let's talk about the Fresh and Fit podcast real quick. The formula is simple. Invite a bunch of women, or as he likes to call them, 304s, onto the show, get them drunk, and berate them. It's an engineered conflict model. He insults them, calls them hoes, kicks them out, and clips it for TikTok. It's rage bait for profit. He wrote a book called Why Women Deserve Less. Let that sink in. His worldview is that all relationships are transactional. He's gone on record saying all men are Johns and all women are whores. He's literally quoted saying the Taliban was right about these hoes and that women shouldn't vote or have rights. And this is the guy teaching you how to date? Just not a dating coach, just a guy who hates women because he can't control them. But it gets darker. Myron engages in what we call racial arbitrage. He's a black man of Sudanese heritage who essentially tap dances for the alt-right. He creates a shield for white supremacists. He says things like, white supremacy is a myth, but racism is a reality. Make that make sense. He uses the name Sneako as a racist caricature. He jokes about dabbling in the dark regarding black women.
Hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
LaQuisha.
Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that. Man. We ain't night riders.
He even had the audacity to say blacks did better under Jim Crow. Bro, are you serious? A black man in America claiming Jim Crow was better for his people? He stood in front of a crowd at the University of South Carolina, and when a racist heckler shouted that living around white people isn't a human right, Myron agreed with him and then claimed black people have lower IQs.
But I have a saying, around the blacks never relax. So, take from that what you will.
Living around white people is not a human right. You don't get to live with us all the time, all right? This is our country that we built.
No, it's the truth. The truth hurts sometimes for people. But yeah, they've done meta-analysis on this with IQ and race, and
the data doesn't lie, you know. In general, black people tend to have lower IQs, so it is what it is.
He is laundering white nationalist talking points through a blackface to give them legitimacy. It's a cynical, self-hating business move to unlock a market of racists who want a black friend to sign off on their bigotry. Now, this is where the alpha facade cracks wide open. Myron preaches a rigid, hyper-masculine, no-homo worldview. He demands total submission from women and tells men to be stone-cold killers. But the internet, of course, remains undefeated. Photos surfaced of Myron with a guy named Erik Wessel, and boy, let me tell you, these ain't no regular hanging with the homies pics. Unless you prefer copious amounts of hot dogs and bologna, ain't no judgments here. As you can see, we have a photo of Erik giving a shirtless Myron a shave. We have photos of them getting cozied up in a restaurant with Myron's head resting on this man's chest. We have photos of them in a hotel bed, hands interlocked, heads on chests. We even have a photo of Myron getting a big fat wet kiss on the cheek from Erik. Look, I don't care who you love, that's your business and 100% your right. But when you built an empire on demonizing anything that isn't traditional masculinity, when you mock gay people, when you act like you the hardest guy in the room, you cannot be out here cuddling with the homies like you in a rom-com, my G. It exposes the whole alpha thing as a performance. It's a costume. He's selling you a version of masculinity that he doesn't even practice. He's screaming at women about being 304s while he's allegedly living a completely different life behind closed doors. It's the ultimate hypocrisy.
Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Swear to God on my phone.
And speaking of hypocrisy, let's talk about his heritage. Amrou is Sudanese. His family came here from Sudan. He's a first-generation success story, which is something he should be proud of. Instead, he adopts this nativist America First founding fathers rhetoric. He lectures Americans on Western values while suppressing his own cultural identity. He changed his name from Amrou Fudl to Myron Gaines to sound like a generic white guy. He deracinated himself to sell a product. He aligns himself with people who, quite frankly, would want him deported if they had their way. He tells people if you don't like it, leave, ignoring the fact that his own family likely came here because they didn't like where they were. It's a slap in the face to the immigrant experience, and his parents should be ashamed. He pulled up the ladder behind him, then set it on fire for engagement and views. Let's circle back to the Fed thing. Myron didn't just work for the post office or something. He was an HSI agent. He investigated international criminal organizations. You can't just turn off that type of training. He uses the Fed Reacts segment to analyze police encounters, always taking the side of authority, always licking the boot. But you have to ask yourself, why would a guy with a respectable federal career, a pension, and security throw it all away to scream into a microphone? Well, some people think he might be a plant. I'm not saying he is, but for the sake of conversation, let's just look at the function he serves. He destabilizes the community, he spreads division between black men and black women, he radicalizes young men into potential domestic threats. I mean, if you wanted to create chaos and track extremists, creating a honeypot like the Fresh and Fit podcast would be a genius way to do it. He behaves just like an asset. He's disciplined, he's strategic, and he knows exactly how to manipulate the algorithm. He converts platform sanctions like getting demonetized on YouTube into martyrdom. Oh, the Matrix is attacking me. Nah, bro, you violated the terms of service. But he used that to migrate his audience to Rumble and Kick, keeping the grift alive. It's tactical. This brings us to the real danger. The Manosphere. This isn't just entertainment, it's a cult. Myron Gaines is running an ideological funnel. He starts with the fitness and finance, the grind set, that hooks the young guys who are lonely, struggling, or rejected. Then he pours poison in their ears. He tells them that their misery is the fault of feminism. He sells them the red pill, a nihilistic view where love doesn't exist, only power and transaction. He teaches concepts like hypergamy, telling these dudes that women are biologically wired to use them. He isolates these men from reality, he makes them bitter, angry, and undateable. And then, he sells them courses. He sells them the solution to the problem he created in their heads. He validates their worst impulses. He tells them it's okay to be hateful and that it's actually alpha to be a bigot. He leaves a trail of radicalized young men who can't function in society because they view 50% of the population as the enemy. So Myron, Amrou, let me talk to you directly for a second. You sell yourself as the pinnacle of manhood, the high-value man, but when we peel back the layers, what do we see? We see a man who was allegedly a 36-year-old virgin before his girlfriend Angie. We see a man who claimed he had 100 bodies, but admitted his first real relationship was in his mid-30s. You preach dominance, but you allegedly paid Angie to be in a relationship with you.
Mediocre and inferior to men, so it's gotta go, you pay, but you get the say.
That's not dominance, that's prostitution. That's a transaction. You are the John you talk about in your book. You scream at women because you're terrified of them. You align with Nazis and praise Hitler, calling him a revolutionary leader because you're desperate for the approval of men who hate you. And I know why. You hate yourself. You hate your blackness. You hate your heritage, and you hate your own vulnerability. You're not an alpha. You're a product. You're a performance. A clown. You're a fragile, insecure man who built a fortress out of microphones and soundproofing to hide the fact that you have no idea how to connect with another human being. You are the architect of your own prison, and you're charging admission for other men to join you in it. Myron is a cautionary tale. He tells us what happens when you trade your soul for super chats. He shows us that the loudest voices in the room are usually the most broken. The Manosphere isn't saving men, it's destroying them. And Myron Gaines is leading the charge, laughing all the way to the bank while he burns down the village. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, as always, I appreciate you more than you know. Let me know, you think Myron is a fed or just a fraud? I'd love to hit 500 subscribers before the end of the year, and only you guys can help make that happen. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. But more importantly, if you don't do any of that, at the very least, be the person you like to meet. Peace.
Oh man, I'm about to pop out. And you know I brought the drop out.